Is there anything you think the Kusama network would be appropriate for that wouldn't be appropriate on Polkadot?
I mean, I think privacy is a massive one. So
there's
privacy coins, privacy networks, privacy mixers, things that may be a little less enterprise friendly or tasteful, I think would fit really well on Kusama. We have built this really amazing censorship resistant network, and we can do amazing censorship resistant things with it.
The launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed.
Space Monkeys. Blasting off with Erin Grasmick. She is a longtime Parity engineer and also responsible for the recent success of the Spammening, for some insights on the development of Polkadot from the very early days to what's happening in the future, actually. Erin, welcome to Space Monkeys.
Thank you very much, Jay. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, we first got introduced to you on AAG, actually. I think you were having something to do with the Paseo testnet.
That's correct. Yeah, I was pretty involved with the Paseo testnet.
Yeah,
I named it, actually. That's
so
my
how
claim
do we
to
say
fame.
it? How do we say it now?
Paseo. It's a Spanish word which means a place where people walk, but together.
I love that.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's all launched now and hunky-dory, right?
Yeah, very good.
We're recording this just after we did the Spammening. You were responsible for that awesome dashboard we had on the screen the whole time.
Yes.
So sick, where everybody could help spam.
Yeah.
Who got you roped into this Spammening project, and what did you think when you first heard it?
It was kind of like a weekend project for me. Like I've started doing web dev a little bit on the side because I find it very satisfying as someone who previously has done a lot of infrastructure and kind of invisible backend type engineering.
Yes.
The design is fun, like thinking what the user wants to see, things like that is really rewarding, and there's nothing more rewarding than seeing a ton of people use it and say how awesome it is. So I had that experience. I don't think we were intending on making it as big of a deal as it was.
Yeah.
But it kind of ended up being a big deal because we were like, I mean, obviously we can do a ton of transactions on Polkadot, but actually doing that and proving it to people seem to care about this. So it was an amazing thing to do, and it was very iterative. I worked with multiple teams, multiple companies on this, and it was just really fun.
Who were the high-level groups?
Yeah, so Parity, obviously, but Distractive as well, and Amfork, who started out with the Spammening sort of trademark.
Yeah, so cool.
From OpenGov.
Yeah. And we couldn't have set the world record without your sick dashboard.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, is there anything you would tweak about the dashboard for next time, now that you've seen what happened?
Yeah, I think there's a couple performance issues that I can probably fix. But like for the more user-facing stuff, I'd like to add like a little bit more absurd effects, like when you hit 100,000 TPS, and luckily we were able to have a room full of people that were shouting and cheering. But if we didn't have that, like I think maybe we want to have like sound effects or like some sort of confetti or things like that. Fun things along the way. On these journeys, because there will be more of them.
It's crazy. It's generated so much buzz. Like my Twitter is blowing up right now.
Amazing.
And you know what's funny? Like on Twitter when like you scroll down in the comments and it's like show spam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like kind of fun to like see what people are saying in spams.
Yeah. The keyword spam.
But even the former haters are like stoked. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. That's really nice. That's really good.
So you are one of the longest standing Parity employees.
Yes.
There are people who started Parity earlier than you, but they're no longer with the company. Like, how many people have a high score?
Maybe about 10.
Okay.
At the moment. Obviously, Gav.
Yeah.
Like a few engineers, but probably about 10.
So at this stage, as one of the most senior members of the company, you're probably able to do kind of whatever you think is important.
There's a lot of freedom. There's always been a lot of freedom at Parity, especially if you're aligned, if you understand what the ecosystem needs and you have the vision and you share the vision of Polkadot, then it's very free because you are a trusted person.
Yeah.
If you demonstrate that you can be trusted, which hopefully you should be, you can be, and I feel trusted, and I feel like I am able to do really good work.
What edge are you pushing right now? Where are you trying to bring Parity today?
Yeah, Parity now has a product engineering department, product engineering.
Okay.
As of about 6 months ago, I would say.
Ah.
And Parity hasn't really done product in the way that they are intending to do before, because obviously we had Polkadot.js, and that was that kind of scarred people, I think, for
Got the
for a
job
while.
done.
Oh, it absolutely did, and it's a fantastic tool, but a tool and not a user experience. So so now with product, like, we want to be able to showcase what Polkadot can do and really make it shine, because I think right now a lot of people understand that Polkadot is really there technically, super solid.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of ways for people to see this. And being able to show this to people and demonstrate this to people is increasingly important, because we have this amazing tech stack. I think we want to be able to bring users in, show them the value proposition, show them the unique selling points, and, just let people loose on Polkadot and show them what the baby can do.
Amazing. So what are some examples of products that you're looking at?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the products is the Polkadot Pay, or the app, the Polkadot app.
I see.
Right.
Right.
That is one of them. Another one is the Polkadot. It's like a one-click deployment thing. So it's Polkadot deployment platform.
Okay.
It's a very nicely put together platform where you can just like launch a parachain. And I think there will be a lot more of this product-focused stuff coming with, Codename Plaza, or the Hub, or whatever you'd like to call it, because this will now be a central place where people can build things, build dashboards, build products on top of this central place.
Yeah.
And there's a huge opportunity to do stuff here to make people's lives easier, both for developers and users.
So this one-click deployment, this is kind of in the cloud territory, right? If you want to build your own chain and connect to your own roll-up, this is the place for you. But we're all waiting for this hub. And then you think there's going to be a lot of Parity products coming out of that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. In the attention of dog fooding, we want to use our own stuff. So we actually hosted an internal hackathon for like the first iteration of the smart contracts on the hub.
Yeah.
So like we really want to make sure that we are using our own stuff first and foremost.
Really?
And that really informs how we can go about making developers and users' lives better. I think there will be a lot more stuff coming, just ways to showcase what's happening on the hub and also on Polkadot in general.
One of the things that I've gleaned from my conversations with you this week is you're a bit of a Cryptonaut. You're not just using Polkadot. You're kind of exploring different experiences outside of the ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I love using blockchains. Like I started working at Parity not because I just joined a company. It's because I was really into blockchain and still am really into the technology and also really into the ethical side of it, like the crypto space as a movement, which is really important for people's self-sovereignty, their privacy, and ownership. Like it's really important to me that people are able to own everything that they actually have.
Yeah.
And this is not the case at all, basically, in today's society. And it's getting worse, right? Like everything is gamified. Everything is withheld from you as a user of anything, whether it's, a website, an app, or a bank. Like you really don't have ownership over your own data.
Yeah.
And money. And both of those things are extremely important.
Absolutely.
So I am committed to doing as much on-chain as I possibly can. And I also I don't want to be like a deer in the headlights when it comes to an ecosystem.
Sure.
I like using other ecosystems as well and seeing what's up with them.
Yeah.
Like it feels a bit like spying sometimes. But
okay.
But like it's good because it can do one of two things. It can inspire me and be like, oh, this is something we should totally have on Polkadot.
Sure.
Or it can be like, oh, Polkadot already does this way better.
Okay, yeah.
So it's good either way.
Well, what are some experiences you can share with our audience who may be a little insular here? Even if there's trade-offs, what are some really dynamite experiences you can bring here?
there's a lot of discovery stuff on other networks where they have dashboards or ways to explore what's happening on chain.
Sure.
And this is like a more cultural thing. And I think I'd really like to see Polkadot and Kusama explore this a lot more, where it's something that a normal user, if you log in every day, you can do. So for example, Base had this on-chain summer thing where if you logged in every day and you like spun the wheel or whatever, you get points, and then points, you can buy stuff with points. And
Is this on the Coinbase wallet?
on the Coinbase wallet, yeah.
Okay.
And so they kind of had a user engagement thing going on, and I would like to see more user engagement for people who maybe don't have a lot of DAO. They just want to see what's going on in the ecosystem. They want to get involved kind of culturally, and it's not just about DeFi or trading. I mean, those are obviously super important, but I think there is this cultural aspect which can really hook people, and I think that's something that I would like to see more of.
In line with the discovery in the Coinbase app, you're showing me, how you log on, and it just gives you a kind of this carousel of latest options of little things you could do. It's so cool. We don't really have that in our ecosystem, but it'd be easy enough to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like a leaderboard of like, oh, what's the hottest coin going right now on Asset Hub, or like what's the most used app in the ecosystem at the moment. Like here's some suggestions based on your history and your picks.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of how we can lead culture going forward. But something that you've been a part of since the beginning, and it's a culture we kind of reclaimed a bit today, was this Kusama culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So I'm very big into Kusama.
Okay.
I have been from the beginning.
What is it about like Kusama that is so appealing to you?
I mean, it's anarchic, right? It's flashy. It's unapologetic.
Sure.
It's a bit, darkly sexy.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that this was a network that was spawned in Berlin, right?
Okay.
It's got the aesthetic, it's got the vibe, and I think a lot of people really resonated with that. I mean, I resonated with it enough that I'm a part of the society.
You are?
Yes.
Like early member.
Fairly. Yeah.
So that means, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have a tattoo on your body that represents the public key of some other person.
Correct, yeah.
Who has a tattoo of
the previous
public key of another person.
Yeah. So
somebody has yours.
And somebody has mine.
Okay.
So
cool.
I actually have the Kusama Genesis hash tattooed on me.
Does that mean you're the first?
No. It's just a representation of the network.
Oh, okay,
so you can either do the canary or you can do a representation.
You need to have two things.
Yes.
You have the previous person.
You need a representation of the chain, and you need a representation of the previous person.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
What's your tattoo like?
It's actually the chaos symbol. So anybody who's familiar with like Warhammer or some of these nerdy things, it's basically like an arrow, like a pointed arrow star.
Okay.
And then it's got some other bits around it.
So cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I first got onto the scene, Kusama was super hot too and super exciting, but it did kind of fade a little bit there during the bear market. Where do you think it lost its way?
I think Polkadot kind of overshadowed it because people saw it more as, people even today still say, it's a test net for Polkadot, which obviously it's not. But I think the value proposition there is it was difficult for Kusama to find a unique identity because Polkadot itself wasn't mature yet. So now that Polkadot is more mature, I think Kusama can now find a new way because it is not living in the shadow of Polkadot anymore.
Sure.
Polkadot is its own thing. Polkadot has found its way and is continuing to do really well. And now I think we have the chance to to explore Kusama technically and culturally.
Is there anything you think the Kusama network would be appropriate for that wouldn't be appropriate on Polkadot?
Yeah, I mean, I think privacy is a massive one. So there's I think increased attention to privacy, privacy coins, privacy networks, privacy mixers, things that may be a little less enterprise friendly or tasteful, I think would fit really well on Kusama.
Yeah, I guess anybody could spin that up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a permissionless decentralized network, and it's getting smart contracts very soon.
Before Polkadot.
Before Polkadot.
Ooh.
Before Polkadot. So, ZK, Tornado Cash, things like this, I think would fit really well with the original Kusama vision.
The sort of products that Parity would not build.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
open to developers.
Oh, damn, nice, very good. What do you think it needs to? I mean, this is a cool vision, but what do you think needs to happen to kind of kickstart it?
I think we need some people out there understanding what the vision is for Kusama, and
Yeah.
like understanding that it is there for this kind of experimentation and this freedom. Like, we have built this really amazing censorship resistant network.
Yeah.
And we can do amazing censorship resistant things with it.
Right.
So if you don't want to be censored, come to Kusama.
Well, I remember the original memes like "be ungovernable" and all this stuff
Yeah.
like that, and we kind of just like laid down and
Yeah.
slept
Yeah.
on the Kusama side.
Be ungovernable.
That's amazing.
That's what we should do.
Are you active in governance on the chains?
I am, yeah. I am.
Secretly, though.
Secretly, yeah.
Ah, nice.
I'm in a couple DAOs.
You're in a couple DAOs.
I'm in a couple DAOs, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But you don't want
No
to
names.
disclose?
No names.
DAOs we know or secret DAOs as well?
DAOs we know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah.
Okay. The society is not like functioning as a voting DAO.
No, the society is not DAO.
Okay.
It could be. I think the society is also an untapped, relatively untapped piece that could really do something else, like do something more concrete.
Sure. I mean, the thing about the society, as I understand it, is that the members are all top level developers and extremely committed people who are possibly busy.
Yeah.
Keeping the network
Yeah,
moving
very
forward.
busy people.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult to run the society when, if you want to make changes to it, you have to write some Rust code.
Oh, is that
So
true?
I mean, yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
because it's in the runtime.
Ah,
so
shit.
so you can't really easily change it
Okay.
unless you have some programming skills, and a lot of the people that have those skills are focused on other things.
Ah, I see. Well, maybe the society will come to the hub one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, back to governance. How do you feel about the direction of OpenGov and the maturation of the protocols?
Yeah, I think it's been really nice to watch, because I remember, when there was a council, like the technical
Yeah.
council
Oh, yeah.
and all of that. And thinking back to those days and the early days when there was like really low participation, there weren't a lot of people voting or advocating for proposals. Things would kind of slide easily. There were probably even more grifters then,
There were.
There were.
Easier to grift a council than OpenGov.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was also, last cycle. So that was a big
Also, what's that?
last cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there's a lot of money in there, and the piranhas were feeding. These days, though, there's a lot of watchdogs, a lot of like mature DAOs that will call out bullshit when they see it,
Yeah.
and a lot of people that really care deeply about seeing this through as an actual system of governance, because it is the most mature on-chain governance in the blockchain space.
Oh my God, by far.
Hands down, by far. And even if other chains are embarking on this journey, we're years ahead.
I know.
So
You can't buy this participation. You can't buy these experiences, right?
right, it has matured a lot
Yeah.
over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Just with some people might be familiar with the marketing bounty,
Yes.
which spent a lot of money, and it
Hyper
went very
optimistic. Yeah.
went very public.
Yeah.
What people may not know is that very shortly thereafter, it was defunded.
Mm-hmm.
And they were not allowed any more funds, and something was born of the ashes.
Exactly.
Which
Yeah.
is the new one, which is by entirely different people, more checks and balances, and so I think this is how we grow. And it's really nice to see all of this sort of maturing in a relatively short space of time.
Totally. It really is like you give a baby a rattle, and then the first thing it does is like smacks another baby, right? And
Yeah.
then like eventually like, it starts to make a little music, and
Yeah.
we get growing. It's cool.
Yeah.
The other thing, like I never really expected this of myself, but I'm so enthusiastic about the OpenGov process that I'm ready to start diving into my local governance, like in my neighborhood. Like I want to go in, I want to check out what's happening there.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I'm going to come in like a seasoned governor. You know what I mean?
You've been through it all.
I've been through it all, and I don't even know,
You got your battle jacket on from day one.
So that's going to happen, and I'll be able to report on that soon. But
Yeah.
it's such a cool experience that we can all just hop into. It's
Yeah, I mean, it is a real way to become experienced with governance processes, if that's something that you're interested in. And also, one of the things that I'm really excited about is the ability to control governance with smart contracts, which will be available when the hub is in place next year.
What do you see? What do you see possible?
I mean, I like Foodarchy, which is prediction markets for referendums.
Yeah.
So you could, do something along those lines, like directly control votes with prediction markets. I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
So cool.
You can also do, just fully on-chain DAOs. So, no Discord bots. You can just do smart contracts and voting. And with Kusama, if we do some ZK stuff, we could have anonymous voting.
Oh, yes.
So that would be really, really cool.
I like this idea of Polkadot's kind of the institution network, but then you can kind of dive into the underworld, become something you're not, mess around in a new anonymous way. Like, that's really exciting.
Yeah, I think so as well.
It's cool.
And I think Kusama also adds another layer to that.
Absolutely.
Like, dive under the waves of Polkadot into like the weird fish down below, and that's the Kusamarian.
There you go. Yeah, it's the weird fish in all of us, right?
Exactly.
We all got that weird streak we gotta express.
Exactly.
This is all very exciting stuff. That's within a few quarters. But you are also working on something surprising. We have heard a little bit about this jam toaster, and to catch everybody up, this is a cluster of computers, servers that will be able to simulate the entire jam network in one place. It's being installed under a pool in Lisbon, and you are putting it together.
I am. So this was something I was tasked with, very, very happily tasked with.
So cool.
I must add. Very, very cool project. So as an infrastructure person, originally, putting servers together, I used to work in a data center. So I was hands-on with servers a lot. And so, coming with these special requirements for the Jam Toaster was a very unique project. We did have to get some specialist hardware for this.
Custom built
hardware. And it's coming along really well. Like the servers are being built as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the toaster will be ready soon. There's a lot that goes into this stuff. Like, building your own data center is no joke.
I believe that. Okay.
And a data center underneath a pool, even more.
Seems unnecessarily risky.
I mean, the servers are liquid cooled as well. So.
Oh, great. So just more cooling. Okay.
Just more water.
Fine. All right.
Yeah.
What have you learned from this experience that you didn't know before in your data center experience?
Yeah, so dealing with hardware vendors is very interesting. It's something that I haven't really done before directly. Like, I have worked obviously with hardware before, but like dealing with these vendors and talking to them, understanding requirements, talking money, all of this stuff was kind of new to me. And seeing what we could achieve with the hardware that they were offering. So, we ran benchmarks, we ran tests, we used PokaVM directly to, on some of these test servers to see what they were capable of before committing. That was all pretty new to me, but I was really happy to have that experience.
So what are some unique quirks of this jam toaster that maybe people with your knowledge would find interesting?
I think one of the main ones is that they're using Threadrippers. So this is basically consumer desktop hardware in a server form factor. So we want to be able to control them as servers. So completely remotely, we want to be able to pixie boot them, have remote management. But they are essentially desktop workstation motherboards and processors. So this is something that is not super common. You see them sometimes in things like render farms and other compute-heavy use cases. It's a very special thing to do, and it comes with a lot of strange issues as well.
Okay.
Because this not being standard server hardware, and you want things like hot swap, how do you achieve that? Ends up it's a custom drive controller. So This is it's all very bespoke.
So this is because you're really trying to simulate this experience of having separate servers in different parts of the world. But
Yes.
you're kind of bringing them all together in a common space.
It can achieve two things. So it is an optimized environment, so we can see what Jam is capable of
Yeah.
at its best. Like, all the servers close together, running like the fastest testnet we possibly can, see how blazingly fast Jam can be. But on the other side, we can also introduce software constraints. So we can, drop packets, introduce latency, kind of like fake real network conditions.
Cool.
So we can see how resilient Jam is under pressure.
I saw on a chat room a suggestion to expose a heat sink to actually make toast. Is this in the plan?
I think it is in the plan.
Could be good.
I think so. I think there are a couple...
Little kettle?
Possibly a little kettle. I think there might actually be a big kettle in the form of a jacuzzi.
Oh, this is a little bit more comfortable. Nice, a little soak in some tea.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's probably a better way to have caffeine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can have your toast and sit in the jacuzzi.
Have you been to the site?
I have.
Tell us about it.
Oh, I mean, it's fantastic. It's a beautiful place. It's a really good space for people to get work done.
It's a palace.
It's a palace,
Yeah.
for sure. But I think I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know the latest sort of developments.
Oh, they're building it out.
They're building it out.
Yeah.
But even last time I was there, it has a lot of really good spaces. You can walk the grounds, clear your head, sit down in a room with a bunch of other people and in a nice cozy space. There's, larger spaces as well, really fast internet, a lot of room to roam and also, lock in.
Crazy. Anything else you're doing on top of all this? You're not doing a Jam implementation as well, are you?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. No,
Sure.
no, I'm not. No, I think that's the bulk of it.
Plenty for one person.
I want to keep doing these side project things on the side. I think the dashboard was really successful, and I would like to do more of these things for the community.
Yeah.
Possibly Kusama focused or building on some of the latest technology that we're adding to Kusama before Polkadot gets it, so people kind of can get an idea, like a little preview of what's coming and what they can do with it. Because I want people to be able to see the possibilities. So I think side projects for me are big at the moment.
Erin, it's really special to have you on the show. A very unique guest with a lot of unique and impactful projects. Very grateful to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.